The 7th generation is finally here with 7% more horsepower, 25% more torque. Hell, they dropped the V8 and now we got a twin turbo V6. We're showcasing the 2025 Nissan Armada Platinum Reserve in red over almond, 25 horsepower more, 103 pound-feet of torque more, dropping the 7-speed, going to a 9-speed automatic transmission. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to throw in some pros and cons to show you what you're getting with the all-new Armada. Up front, Nissan's signature V-Motion grille takes center stage. It's now wider, it's more integrated into the body, and flanked by enhanced double C-shaped headlights. These are featuring adaptive driving beams, or ADB technology. And keeping true to the heritage of 1951, this thing has over 70 years in the making. Now, unfortunately, in North America, we only get one power option. Overseas, you get 2 power options, and Nissan just dropped the Nismo, which gives us 35 more horsepower. It's basically the same thing as a QX80 Infiniti, but the styling is going to have some pinstripes, the interior is going to look a little bit more sporty, and the suspension is tuned. House underneath the hood, 425 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. This is a rear-wheel drive, achieves 16 mpgs for the city, 20 mpgs for the highway, paired to the 9-speed automatic transmission. Now, body on frame, it also gives you more towing capabilities than a unibody construction. You're at 8,500 pounds, which is not an increase for the 7th gen, and the prior was getting 14 mpgs to the city and 19 mpgs to the highway. So, I mean, when you're talking 2 and 1 mpg difference, I mean, the EPA sometimes needs to shove it up there, you know what, because that's not a huge difference, but we do have some more upgrades. 20-inch wheels, that's going to be standard on all the trims except for the Platinum Reserve. We get these 22-inch multi-spoke wheels. Those mud flaps, that's an upgrade. The running boards, that still comes standard. You get the vent on the quarter panel, and these roof rails can hold up to 165 pounds. So the styling that Nissan has done, I like it, because it's taking a lot of components from Infiniti and just kind of taking some of them off, and you're getting it at a discounted price. Because if you were going to put these side to side, going into the Autograph, opposed to this, you're talking about $30,000 difference in price. There is some differences in the interior and the exterior, and they're noticeable enough, but is it really noticeable for over $30,000? And yes, the horsepower is less, but now we have the Nismo edition, which gives us 35 horsepower. Obviously, it's going to increase the price a little bit, but I would imagine it's still going to be anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 less, making this a bargain deal. The rear now has the Armada plate, goes across the back, standard LED tail light with the light bar that goes behind the Nissan badging, front and rear parking sensors, a 360-degree reverse camera, as well as a digital rear view mirror. Safety has been improved with the Nissan Safety Shield 360 that includes forward collision, the blind spot intervision, the lane intervision, trail blind spot warning, tire pressure monitoring, rear cross traffic alert. You get more horsepower, you get more torque. The 7th gen just gives you a lot more in value, but is the Platinum Reserve worth $84,600 and change, or should you go down into the Pro 4X because you're going to get most of the same amenities and you're going to get a savings? Let us know in the comment which way you would go. So you have a kick to open, a power liftgate as well, going into 30% more cargo than the prior gen at 20.4 cubic feet of storage behind the 3rd row. You get a home plug. Here's everything to lower the seats. We'll get to in just a second. Underneath the floor, you get some storage, and when you lift this up, you have your jack. So I think that's pretty nice the way that they've kind of cleaned it up here, because your spare tire is still tucked underneath here. Now, one thing for me is headroom. I actually hit my head on it, so what I have to do is raise the suspension, which gives me that little bit of clearance, maybe a ½ inch. I'm at 6'3". You can also lower the suspension in the rear. And then here can get confusing, because which row is it? Well, it's pretty simple. These first two are on the 3rd row, splitting at a 60-40 split. That's going to increase cargo capacity to 56.3 cubic feet of storage. And you can take that plug off for the seat belt, so that way it's just an open, flat floor. Split fold the captain seats. Split fold the captain seats, just push the button, it's going to drop them down at 97.1 cubic feet. The key fob to the all-new Armada. 12-way power seat adjustment, heated, ventilated, massage seats, and it's biometrical ventilated and heated front seats. Now that feature starts on the Pro 4X, and it starts off with a leatherette interior, and then it goes onto the SL for a tailor fit. The quilted leather starts on the Pro 4X, and here, memory for the driver. 6 speakers is standard, 12 speakers to Klipsch, and a tech-forward dashboard layout. You get the real wood inlays, ambient lighting. You get a full pass-through. The 12-volt is going to be on the passenger side, plenty of leg room, and it isn't really a driver-focused setup. Even though this is tilted a little bit more so that way, it still makes the passenger feel like they fit in, and the command center has been reconfigured. Let's fire it up. And listen to the noise when you turn it off. Now, one thing to keep in mind, Infiniti and Nissan are the same company, and they make Infiniti first. You're going to see a lot of similarities from the QX80 to the Armada, starting with a digital rear view mirror. It has the home link. It also auto dimming. You get a dash cam and an interior camera, LED interior lights, heads up display, and 2 14.3-inch screens. And yes, you heard me right, 14.3-inch screens with Google built in, with Google Assist, Google Maps, Google Play Store, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Sirius XM, Alexa built in, hybrid radio plus, MyQ Connect, Garage Plus, Nissan connection, and then your dash cam. Now this is kind of cool because you can also view these things on your smartphone. There's the interior. You can also take a picture of it, and you can record. You can also zoom in. And you see I'm doing everything without any papers because I memorized the vehicles. We're going to put it into reverse. And 3D enhanced intelligent around view monitoring, or the 360-degree reverse view. With invisible hood view, front wide view, and you still have physical buttons. So thank you, Nissan, for giving us this. You get the aluminum up top, air vents in the center. That's for your climate control. And then to put it into gear, this is just a large opening that goes into a wireless charging pad, but this is not standard on the base. You have to go up into the SL. You get 2 USBs, the cup holders, Armada print. Open this up, and it's a pretty deep storage pocket. This is just a tray that you put the change in. Soft to touch. So the touch to feel, they did an excellent job with this all-new Gin. Leg space, more than enough. Headroom, the same thing. Large panel going to the second row. Going into the gauge cluster, it is a 14.3 informational display, and it can go through an array of different content. And you could just simply switch it from here to here, and now you are on the actual infotainment screen right there. So I think it's really cool how easy they've made everything, so you don't necessarily have to do the touch. Multi-functionality. You get the paddle shifts. This has the upgraded ProPilot Assist 1.1, but we have ticked the box to the ProPilot Assist 2.1 package, and a total of 64 different colors for your ambient lighting. Door panel and dash, it connects pretty good. I like that it's very luxurious and upscale, especially for the price that we're at. Soft to touch everywhere. One touch up and down for all the windows. Acoustic front windows and front windscreen. It is also quieter in the cabin, which you'll see on the test drive. A large storage pocket, but it tapers off back here, so you can put like a pocketbook and a large flask. Back seats, this is the opening that you have to fit 2 more, because the captain seats come standard here. It is an option when you get into the platinum tier. The SL, you can option this. No manual sunshades or power sunshades at all, but it's soft materials everywhere, so I appreciate that. With a long grab handle, a smaller storage pocket that's in the front. Armada kick plates, they illuminate. Grab handle, we got the running boards sitting behind me. Leg space, it's carved out enough. Now you can adjust these forward, but I probably wouldn't. But even if you did, I still can actually fit, and then you're gonna have a ton of leg room for the third row occupants. Sliding this back, and check out the headroom. You got at least 2 or 3 inches, and you can recline these back, and then you'll have probably a good 10 inches. Air vents are gonna be right here by my head. Storage behind both of the front seats. Third climate control setting, heated rear seats, 12-volt charger, 2 USB-Cs, but here I feel is where they went a little bit cheap, because when you go into Infinity, this is going to be a whole center cluster and you have a touch screen. I get it, it's around 20 grand more, but still, you get 2 USB-C ports that are pretty much derived for either the back or here. So you have enough charging ports, you got your cup holders here, but I would like to see like a wireless charger here. I think that would just really set the tone. I do like that the quilted interior of the seats come all the way into the second as well as the third row. For the third row access, pull this lever here, slide it forward. That's the room that you have to fit 3 more in the back. Now these are power seats for the third row, and you also have USB-C ports because you have a total of 8 when you go into the Platinum trim. Putting this back so you can check out the leg space. And I can actually fit, I can't put a finger between it, so it's going to be a little bit tight for somebody sitting here in the center. Cup holders and armrest. You get a grab handle, and the air vents are kind of put behind me, which I really can't complain about that, but headroom does become a little bit tight here. So then I'll just have to recline this back, so that way I could sit. I'll scoot down a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit tight. Sliding into the center, you have a sufficient amount of feet space, because look at this. Just stretch out there. Butt, leg, and shoulder space, it's going to be shared because this bulges out a little bit too much on both sides. And these headrests, in order to make it comfortable, you really have to unfold. Otherwise, it's really set up for somebody that's not even 5 foot tall. As for headroom, sitting into the center, my head is against the headliner, so it's not as good as the prior gen. The 7th generation is here with more horsepower and torque, losing the V8, getting 425 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque, which is an increase, 25 horsepower, 103 pound-feet of torque more. Let's see what we got. Motivation, my God. Braking, it could do both. Now, obviously, if I hit a little bit harder, I would probably hit my head on the windscreen. This thing is fast, and I like that we got physical buttons, because when you go into Infinity, they kind of take that away a lot more so, because everything is more or less derived through the touch screens. Now you can option 2 12.3-inch screens in the rear, but when you're already at 86 grand, I think a lot of the features start needing to be standard. It's a quiet cabin. Only thing I could really hear is that twin turbo V6. Road noise is starting to filter in a little bit through the wheel well area, but 22-inch wheels, that's to be expected. It's a solid box on wheels. It's lifted up high. The suspension will alter depending on your driving conditions, also helping with the MPGs. The seats are comfortable, massage seats, but then it is going to lead me into some pros and cons. The con for that is it only gives you the massage for the back part. At this price, even in Infinity, they do the same thing. The whole body should be a massage seat, because now we have implemented changes to put this on par with competition that's at a different level. And that takes me to competition right off the bat. The Sequoia, you're gonna have more horsepower and torque, more towing capabilities, but when you get the Nismo Edition, you're gonna have more horsepower there, but it's gonna be a little bit more derived for sportiness, and it's not gonna increase in the towing capabilities. The Wagoneer, that's gonna be a lot more money than this. It's gonna have a little bit more capabilities, but then you're having a savings. The interior of this is going to be a lot better than Toyota though, because the touch to feel is a lot more soft. The ride itself is a lot more smooth. Honda doesn't make anything big enough for this. Mazda, you could go into the CX-90, awesome vehicle, but then in the third row, you can't really sit if you're over 6 foot at all. I'm gonna try not to hit that puddle and some hard brakes. Driving like crazy. Now, one thing about Nissan to Infinity is, like I was saying on the exterior, you're getting a lot of similarities, but it's stripped down. So with Infinity, when you walk up, the car will unlock for you. Here, you have to push a button. Going into the interior, you're gonna have the same charms, but then you will see a little bit more exposed plastic going here. But then when you're looking at a $20,000 to $30,000 upgrade, that's why this is the sweet spot. Turn radius at a stop point is about 2 and a part lane. Let's rock and roll. it's quick. The V8 wasn't slow by any standard. It was actually one of the fastest variants in its class for a very long time because they didn't change it for such a long time. So the improvements, I really appreciated. Going into the pros, the technology is great. I like that we got physical buttons. The seat comfort is amazing. Everywhere that you touch is soft materials, which is, I hate to say unheard of when you're going into this tier of a vehicle. Usually you're gonna have a lot more harder aesthetics. And now they have Pro Pilot Assist 2.0, but you do have to option it. Otherwise it comes as a 1.1, which gives you basically the autonomous driving. And these features, they're good. They go for a pretty decent distance. They're not gonna be as awesome as something like Tesla where it goes miles and miles and miles. But for what it's worth, I would probably option it just because it's a good feature to have. It never sets. There we go. And this feature reads you while you're driving. That's why you have that glossy black that's in the front of the steering wheel. It's already alerting me to touch the steering. And this is the noise that you're going to be getting. And it's the same thing as Infinity. There you go. For maneuverability purposes, the steering still has some weight to it, so I appreciate that. And we're going to go back here, slow it down just a touch so that way we can feel the lag. It's a twin turbo V6, I'm not really expecting too much of a lag. It does have a little hesitation, but then it just kind of goes. Smooth, quiet, and composed. And if somebody cuts 4 lanes in front of you, you can stop. I appreciate that because this is literally a yacht on wheels. But is it worth 86 grand? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check this next video out right here, and I'd like to thank our friends here at Brandon Nissan